I lost a bet. I've mentioned before my love for Valhalla, with its absolutely wonderful character development and lore building sprinkled throughout the game with such a diverse cast of wonderful characters. Its amazing retro art style is complemented by fantastic music mixed with EDM and rock. The characters are easy to fall in love with, and the setting, while contained, feels way more expansive than it ever really encompasses, with a plot that seemingly is just a normal bar but is able to absolutely captivate the player. That game is one of my favorite games that I've ever played. This game is nowhere near that in quality or subject. I hate visual novels, and my hatred for them was only somewhat softened by Valhalla due to how amazing it is. This game, however, furthered my hatred of them.
Welcome!
This game has the most stereotypical anime plot I've ever seen, except this time it's at a shrine instead of a school. So wacky. Spoilers ahead, if you at all care, you're not playing this game for the plot. Anyway, the best way to explain the plot is basically if a 20-minute hentai was extended to being 4 hours. Masato has a harem of a god and a demigod, however their relationship is forbidden by the status quo. So a god and a human are sent to instill discipline back into the shrine from their adultery. Hijinks ensue, and Yui, the god in Masato's harem, is regressed into a kid both physically and mentally. They do literally nothing for 2 hours, and then the homewreckers fall in love with Masato because the writers realize plot needed to happen. When the homewreckers fall in love, it's revealed that the shrine has a destructive god sealed inside, and once the homewrecking god falls in love with Masato and opts in to become a part of the harem and removes the curse placed on Yui, the destructive god is unsealed due to Subaru, the homewrecking human, which she then regrets and assists in fighting the god. Also, this destructive god apparently manifests Hinoa, the god that is practically useless the entire game. That's it. That's all. There is not even a resolution to the battle. It took the game 4 hours to get through all of that, and the middle of the game is practically just filler. I started skipping entire portions of the game because there's absolutely nothing going on. 70% of the game could have literally been cut and it would have been a better story. It's different in very subtle ways and absolutely nothing else. Like, pick a random ecchi and it'll probably be pretty much the same as this game. Actually, no, better yet, just watch an entire season of said random ecchi that you just picked, and it's more likely a better, more interesting story than whatever the fuck this game is, right? So much of the story is just random ass things that the characters are doing around the shrine. What's worse than the plot, though, is the storytelling.
No! God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
This game's pacing is horrid. Like, they spend 90% of the game doing literally nothing, and then right at the end they realize they actually have to wrap up the story somehow. And on top of this, they actually manage to extend the filler by practically repeating almost every sentence that is uttered. I kid you not, I remember one time they were practically just rephrasing the same sentence 5 times. The writing is like a 6th grader read the dictionary and has just now started writing essays for his English class. They use big boy words, except the sentence structure and overall style is extremely simplistic and straightforward because they couldn't possibly let the player use a single brain cell to interpret the story with inferences or gathering what they want from the story. No. You're treated as if the player is like 10 and needs to be told everything about the story explicitly. How you should feel about the events transpiring, what traits do the characters have, how do the characters even feel about each other, etc. Don't worry, you'll never be lost. Because the only reason you could be lost is if you mentally zoned out because it's so goddamn boring. I get the whole point of this game is just to interact and like the characters, but holy shit, it's so mind-numbing that I couldn't even manage to play this game on my own. Like, I played HuniePop, and it was actually more interesting than this game is. I had to be in a call with people to even get through this game without feeling like a fucking 12-year-old getting talked at while my mind drifts off to think about something random like Magic the Gathering. The pacing is just, again, horrid. They spend way too long on things that don't matter and then half-ass anything that actually does. If anything interesting does happen, it'll become way more boring as I simply talk about the thing happening in the game that just occurred while explaining it to you, the player. Don't worry though, the art and translation makes this shitty game solidified as the worst game in my library. The music and voices in this game are extremely annoying. The music drones on, and on, and on, and on, which definitely complements the nothing plot. The voices are equally annoying, with Hinoa being one of the most annoying voices I've ever heard in any show or anime. I normally don't mind high-pitched voices, but it's so loud and high-pitched I had to turn her voice in particular down to 50% because it was just so goddamn annoying. The sound effects and voices are also played back at a low quality, which turned these very annoying voices into one of the worst ear-piercing audio I've ever heard. Like, videos from the 80s are of much better quality than this. The translation is just as bad as the audio as well, with frequent mistranslations, spelling errors, and in general, things that make no sense to the point where there were times that everybody in the call I was in didn't understand what something meant, which if you confuse 4 people at once, that's impressive. I understand translation is hard, but at least try, holy shit, goddamn. Now, the real reason anyone would play this game is for its artwork.
Yeah, boy.
To see the premium 720p action scenes, quote unquote, to which I'm blurring all of because I'm pretty sure it would violate YouTube guidelines. Don't worry though, I've seen anime from the early 2000s with better quality artwork than this game could ever offer. Even the main event scenes are just as terrible and low effort as the rest of the game. Just imagine any anime you've watched from the 2010s, except it was drawn by an amateur artist and then compressed down to 720p. It's all awful on top of what the game is about. Not only is this game not for me, but it's absolutely objectively awful. If this game was never made, my life would have been better. I could have slept soundly at night, not knowing of this game's existence and never playing it. I feel as if I've lost brain cells in order to play it, and I didn't even drink. If you like this game,
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna end this video with the same effort as this game. If you enjoyed the video, leave. Just leave. Also, did I mention they're all dudes?